Hi everyone, today we'll be looking at the OPPO Find N. The OPPO Find N really surprised me, and it's certainly a folding phone that I would not want to miss. From the outside, it looks very similar to the Galaxy Z Fold from Samsung, but I think that OPPO's take on the foldable phone is much more practical. It's nice and compact, and it's relatively shorter compared to the Z Fold, but it's also extra thick to accommodate the inner screen. The phone's also quite heavy at around 275 grams, and it may feel like a brick in the hand sometimes, but I got used to it pretty quickly. On the outside, the phone is covered with Gorilla Glass Victus on the cover screen and the back of the phone. It also has aluminum side rails and a side-mounted fingerprint sensor. One of the most prominent features of the phone is the camera bump at the back with curved glass that houses the main shooter and the ultra-wide and the zoom lens. Now for more on the outer screen, it's a 5.5-inch 1972 by 988 60Hz AMOLED display, and it comes with a 32-megapixel hole-punch selfie camera in the center of the display. The screen is excellent for when you need to get something done quickly or when you're in a situation where opening the phone isn't feasible. I found myself using the outer screen the most, even though the inner screen is much better. Now for more on the inner screen, it's a 7.1-inch 1920 by 1729 120Hz LTPO display. It also has ultra-thin glass, similar to what's found in the Galaxy Z series, to help make it more durable, and it also has a similar 32-megapixel selfie camera in the top left of the display. The thing that struck me the most was the fact that the crease on the OPPO Find N is not as visible as on the other folding phones that I've used. I also can't feel the crease that much compared to the Galaxy Z Flip 3 that I've been using, but it's still visible off-axis. However, if you look at the display front-on, it's basically invisible to the human eye. One more thing that I think OPPO has done well is with the hinge. The hinge requires a lot of force to open and close, and it feels very smooth and sturdy, and it can hold itself at various different angles, and it even closes with a very satisfying snap. One other thing that I've noticed with the OPPO Find N is the fact that it closes completely shut and doesn't leave any gaps compared to the Galaxy Z series, where there's a slight gap nearer to the end of the hinge. This can let in some dust and debris that might scratch the screen. I found the speakers on this phone to be pretty good, with vocals and treble being clear and vibrant, but I found that the speakers really lacked bass. This phone has a 4500 mAh battery, and I found battery life on this phone to be excellent considering the inner display is quite large and it's very power hungry, and I was achieving around 6.5 to 7 hours of screen on time in my weeks of testing with moderate to heavy use each day, with around 15 to 20% of battery to spare. I mostly spend my time doing things like scrolling through Instagram, watching YouTube, and watching some lectures. I even did some document editing on the go and some gaming. One thing to note is that when gaming, I felt the right side of the phone get excessively hot. Even though it wasn't unbearable, it was really uncomfortable to hold, and gaming also drained the battery around 15% after one game of Apex Legends, which is around 25 minutes long. Thankfully, this phone does come with a 33-watt fast charger in the box, and OPPO claims that it can charge the phone from 0 to 100% in 70 minutes. I found this to be mostly true in my experience, and the phone charged quickly. OPPO has also provided a 15-watt wireless charging option for this phone. This phone also has 10-watt reverse wireless charging that you can use to charge other wireless charging capable devices. The processor under the hood is last year's flagship Snapdragon 888, and the base model of this phone comes with 256GB of storage and 8GB of RAM. For me, the phone never really felt slow and was snappy all the time, but I did have the occasional Bluetooth drop-off when using Bluetooth earphones. OPPO being a brand famous for its cameras, I found that this camera was just passable and the colors were well balanced, but on some of my shots, the edge detection was sometimes not that good and it would blow out the subject. I think for this phone it's okay since the focus of the phone is not the cameras but more on the larger display. This phone is a Chinese exclusive phone, so out of the box it lacked Google apps and they had to be sideloaded on. I found app continuity to be excellent on this phone, and I could easily pick up where I left off when switching between the inner screens and outer screens. Many apps, however, won't optimize for this phone, and when using apps like Instagram and playing games like Apex Legends and Clash Royale, I regularly had translucent sidebars on the top and sides of the display, depending on which app I was using, and it's really a shame that this display isn't being fully utilized. OPPO software software has this feature where the app doesn't completely use the display. You can press some arrows and it can shift the entire app across the screen. I guess this is to make the app more usable with one hand, but I found it kind of gimmicky. For video apps like YouTube and Netflix, I found that due to the awkward kind of squarish aspect ratio of the display, I had a lot of black bars when viewing videos shot in the regular 16:9 format. But overall, I think that the viewing experience was still a lot better than normal phones, as the screen is just that much bigger. This phone is not officially available in Singapore, but I was able to find a listing on Shopee for 1,850 Singapore dollars. For comparison, the iPhone 13 Pro Max is around $1,600 and the Z Fold 3 is around $2,200. I think for that kind of price, even though it's not the most expensive or the cheapest phone around, it provides a really good user experience for those looking to get work done on the go or simply just want to have a bigger phone to enjoy their content more. If you like this review, you can check out our other content on the homeground.asia. Thanks for watching.